Earlier this week, I discovered that my wife had cheated on me with another man. When she went to Philadelphia to see her sister, there have been about 3 years and 7 months since we've been together, which includes a period of 1 year of dating and then a period of marriage. While we had some tensions during that time, I did not realize that she has a lot of problems, which is the reason that may be the reason for her to be with someone else. We've both been under lockdown for the past year and a half. She lost her job and I was grateful to be able to work from home during this time. When vacations was released for the public after the lockdown, she decided to go to Philadelphia to meet her sister for the first time in a long time after not being able to see her sister. She decided that this would be a good opportunity to socialize with her. Because of work issues, I stayed here. There was nothing to worry about for her. Furthermore, she was able to contact me twice a day, and we were both able to see each other at FaceTime multiple times throughout the day. One day she tells me that she needs some time alone so that she can think about some serious things she has been struggling with. During my conversation with her, I asked her about the problem, but she said it was something she could handle. Obviously, in such a case, I said sure, and it is okay for you to take your time. As time went on, there was no word from her side, and being her husband, I contacted her in order to make sure that she was okay, and all hell broke loose. As I listened to her tell me how frustrated she had been with me for years, she began to cry. She has a lot of unsolved issues with me that have been brewing for quite some time during the course of our relationship. I found that some of it was valid, some of it did not seem entirely true to me, but I'm going to talk to my therapist in next few days to figure out. There are things I need to talk to a professional about. I don't remember that we ever had any financial, alcohol, gambling, or addiction issues. I usually deal with issues such as anger management, communication, and certain aspects of control when it comes to my life. I remember that week being a bit rough, but once we started talking, things got better. There was a part of me that thought maybe our relationship will be getting better with time as it goes on. After spending 1 month there, I booked a ticket for her to fly at home at the end of that period. But in the meantime, I felt like something was weird about her. Her behavior was changed, and she wasn't acting the way I have known her to be. She would always say, "I love you so much," and start weeping. During this time, she mentions that she has been experiencing burning sensations in her vaginal area, like a bacterial infection with some discharge. A test was conducted by the doctor, and he was surprised to discover that she had been pregnant for 1.5 months. That was a good news for her, and the doctor started treating her bacterial infection as soon as possible. However, there was no improvement in the vaginal issue. After her return home, she decided to book an appointment with a medical doctor online, and when she talked to the doctor, she went up the balcony and closed the door. Because she never ever goes onto the balcony to talk, that was a huge red flag for me. There was quite a bit of suspicion going on there. There was something fishy going on, and I knew it. Then I found a screenshot of text messages she deleted, but were still in a deleted folder. And these messages were between her and another guy she had talked to when she was in Philadelphia. There was an argument between her and him, and she was blaming him for her vaginal infection as she was upset with him. In spite of the fact that she was very concerned, she had already taken a treatment from the hospital, but no improvement happening. She was in a state of terror as a result. Then I decided to check further phone records, taking a look at the times she texted or called the number, and I found that she had been in communication with him for a long time. She had a crush on him in high school, and a chance encounter with him one day during a visit to her sister's place when she was out to eat. They hooked up and kissed each other, and then went to his house that evening, where they spent that night together. The two of them met in a routine when she was in the city at that time. He ditched her after she blamed him for the infection, and when she realized that he was using her, She felt guilty about whatever she had done in order to hook up with him, and she realized that she had destroyed our marriage by doing this. She kept seeing him because she felt like it was over between us, and she was lonely, so she needed a male to provide her with attention and confidence in order for her to cope. During that time she was seeing him, we were in contact. Currently, there's a lot of emotions that need to be dealt with because she had gone home with him because she had been frustrated with me for a long time, and when she saw her old friend from her past, she fell in love with him again. It made me even more upset that her sister had let her go home with someone else instead of her. During the entire time she was with me, she did not tell me anything about this to me at all. She should have known better. I am just upset with all the stuff. After all these facts came in front of me, I was very depressed and broken. My soul felt as if it had been killed by someone. To hide her lie, she once said, "I think I'm sick because of you." I was speechless. I wanted to argue with her, but I did not, because she had my child in her womb and was thinking how to deal with this situation. In my mind, I was thinking about how blind I was and how she was cheating on me with her old friend when she was in Philadelphia. I was feeling sick by thinking of all that stuff. I was gonna get a blast in the head. I was unable to help. What should I do in that situation? I didn't ask her about anything. The problem was that she was pregnant at the same time. All the evidence indicated the child was not mine, but according to that timeline, she was pregnant for 1.5 months. She was with me and she met her friend about 15 days later, according to records. Now I was worried because in this situation, it was not just my wife that was in danger, but it was also my child that was at risk. In order to get her treated, I went to a number of different doctors. They also checked the reports and suggested that we both take STD tests. Unfortunately, the results were positive for my wife and negative for me. She was diagnosed with gonorrhea. The news were bad for us. She started crying as soon as her infidelity was revealed, and I was concerned about the child. I asked Dr. nervously, "What about the child?" Thankfully, they said that they could treat her and the infant would be safe. The doctor explained the process a bit, and I was satisfied with the facts and the treatment plan. They started treating her from then on. As soon as we returned home, I told her, "I know each and everything now, and I have seen your phone." She was crying and begging, but this time I wasn't feeling as bad, and her crying did not matter to me after all her crimes. I asked her, "Why did you come back to me and not just stay there?" She said she really wanted to come back and work on our marriage. She said she wanted to be with me, and she realized she wouldn't find another man who loved her as much as I do. I genuinely believe her. I feel like the experience she had with this man devastated her. I'm the only man she has ever been with, so I can understand a human desire to experience something else when you have the chance. However, a marriage vow has to mean something. Now I feel betrayed and disgusted. However, I don't know if it's worth to take her to counseling to work on this and forgive her. I also don't believe that what she did was unforgivable and that ending our marriage is the right course of action. It's a challenge to know what to do. There's so many things society, religion, and culture tells us about marriage, but at the same time, life is challenging and being an adult is really hard. It is human to try and forgive what a loved one did, or do we have strict rules we must adhere to no matter how much a person means to us? My mind just drifted to the child that was in the womb of the woman who was infected with the virus while she was pregnant. I felt that my child was more meaningful to me than my wife. There was a treatment on the way, and now it has been 6 months since the treatment started. She still wanted me to be like before, but how was that possible? Because of our child, it was impossible for me to forgive that woman with whom I was. If she did whatever she did, it is not the fault of that child, so why should it suffer as a result of her actions? In addition to her treatment, I also attended therapy sessions to relax my mind. I felt that I needed counseling. This was in order to get treated for all the circumstances I was experiencing, along with her treatment. Throughout the entire session, the counselor listened to me and offered consolence for my complex issue. In every way, he treated me well, and he made me feel confident to take serious decisions for my wife and the coming child. After thinking about it for a few days, I decided I would divorce her after our child is born. My intention was to divorce her as soon as possible, but a newborn needs her for a certain period of time. Until that time comes, I'll take care of her and wait for her. The treatment went well for my wife during these months, and the test came back negative. Eventually, after 9 months, our child was born, and I was very happy and at the same time worried about the infection in my child's body. After the doctor tested the baby to check for infection, he informed us that he did not have any infection on his body. When we got back home, I was mentally prepared to divorce her and file for custody of the child after the divorce. However, I had to wait a few months to be able to do that because the child needed his mother. A few days later, she came to me and tried to convince me to be kind and generous to her. She also tried to convince me to forgive me and give her a second chance. Although she tried to convince me, I knew that trust is broken. It cannot be rebuilt. She would play with my feelings again in the future as she did in the past. Therefore, I prepared the divorce papers and gave them to her after a short time passed. The case for custody of the child is in progress, and I am confident that our child will be brought to me once we win it. And I don't give a shit about her now. She is not in my heart anymore. For the rest of my life, she had lost all my trust and love for me. I will live a peaceful life with my child. Whatever she did, she deserved it. In many instances, it is evident that she will have to deal with very bad circumstances because she does not have a job in which she can apply for financial support. As soon as I win the case, she will regret whatever she did because she couldn't spend as much as time with the child he needed. In spite of all these things, I think she should at least consider them before she cheats on me. I don't give a fuck about anything. I can just do one thing, and that is allow her to meet her child once a month. That's all I can do. As a result, I'm not trusting anyone from now on, and I do not want to be in a relationship with anyone.